Okay friends, now after we got some tools, we need to get a domain name. Simply, we are going to get a domain since we are going to point to our PowerMTA server using this domain. Later on, when we configure something called IP rotation and deploy our server, you will see that we are going to point to our server using a name, a custom domain name. So you need to buy a domain name and configure it with your server. In my case, I will be using GoDaddy as my domain registrar. But feel free to use any company you want. Nothing will change. The same concepts here will be applied, and the idea is very simple. We are going to use this domain to point it to our servers. So we are going to do a small, tiny task here. So feel free to use any domain provider you want. In my case, I'm using GoDaddy because I'm comfortable with it. I have been using it for more than 5 years. So it's up to you. So let's go now to our PC and see how we can get a domain so we can use it later in the course. The idea is very simple. Just go to godaddy.com or whatever domain provider you want and search for a domain. Let's say I want to search for a domain called mysmtpserver.com. Whatever, click search and it will show you if this domain is available. You can see it's taken. I can't buy this domain, but in the same way it will give you a list of domains that you can buy here and it's available. You can see the prices of each one per year. So feel free to add any of these domains, whatever domain you want, or if you already have a domain, just skip this lecture and continue with me. You don't need to buy anything. If you don't have one, just please buy a domain name, click add to cart and continue and purchase a domain name. Also, you can use a free domain if you want for testing, but when you want to deploy your real server, please use a paid domain. It's better to be a good domain to get good reputation, because later on we will see that your SMTP server will be based on an IP and a domain. So both must have good reputation in order to succeed in sending emails. So that's it. Just go and get a domain. You have a lot of companies like Enum. We have companies like Freenom. Just go to any of domain registrars, just search for a domain and buy it. In my case, I got a domain before. It's called xmailing.me. I will be using this domain in this course to configure my server. So that's it. Just get a domain so we can continue together.